Greetings to you, Ashtar. Ashtar command. Blessings. Well, there are many star races here, of course. There is a transition into a new timeline. The timeline has not fully opened itself up. And it just might not open itself up either. You just have a transition into a new timeline, but it won't be war. It will be a change in reality. Let's put it that way. It'll be a change in life, but won't be a drastic one of what war would bring into. But there's many timelines, so you're feeling some timeline splits going on. It's not always going to make itself clear, and it's just you could say it's kind of like calm before the storm, but that's not always the best way of saying it either. But there's just a lot of us around that are assisting the transition. Not all of us are aware of what's happening, but you are definitely going to a change. You can see it through your political energies. You just feel yes, there's a wave coming. You're the best thing, and you are preparing already. So, and some of you are experiencing it in the future currently. It's not always supposed to make itself clear because you're supposed to experience it with everybody else. So most of you are already experiencing it now. It's just, and you are changing the timelines where it doesn't. Some of these events don't occur. Like there's like a war in the future can be altered where you divert it, where it's like maybe a small war and not a large one. It's only for a couple of days instead of like years. So we're here to also answer questions whenever you're ready. Blessings. Bye bye.
Blessings, greetings, Ashtar.
See.
I just kind of opened it up. I feel like, well, you say a wave is coming through. It sounds like people are getting a little more proactive with the politics, and not kind of going with the flow. Taking it into their own hand with like education, their children's future and things like that. So I think it's kind of like the controllers losing the reins in a sense. Is that the kind of
in some sense, more people are becoming, as you can tell, more aware that you can't trust the narrative as once the parents, the grandparents did.
right?
So more people are becoming more independent.
Yeah, exactly.
In their teachings, which is good. Of course, the spiritual teachings, what you are learning here is obviously a lot more deeper than what most would have learned, but this is more like higher education, as you know.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking into. I may be ahead of the curve in that sense, but I'm trying to connect the dots to simplify it to for everyone else to be able to access it easily. If I'm going to be, dealing with complex, higher dimensional information, it'd be good to put it in a form where the language is, easy to digest. So that's kind of like what I'm working on right now. But for, like a fun question just to like open things up. I want to preface this with like saying that I believe the reptilians aren't aliens, or like at least the ones that are born here.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this gut feeling that aliens walk among us and we don't even know it.
Yes.
And like, right, in this current lifetime, have I interacted with an alien and think they were just another human?
Yes, at the grocery store.
All right, all right.
I don't know if you go to a coffee shop, but sometimes they're there too. And some of the aliens, they sometimes forget who they are, meaning they get turned off and turned back on, meaning they just become a human. Just gets easier because you're walking around as an alien, sometimes better just not to remember. And then their alien group will reactivate them. It's like, okay, I'm talking about going deep undercover, right?
Is that in a sense what I'm doing here when I go to sleep, where I just become alien instead of human?
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, you actually turn into a shaman. Interesting though, I felt a lot of you have like dealings with a lot of insectoids.
Interesting, yeah.
Different colors are huge. Yes, you've been part of realities where there's been like a giant spider, like on a building. And like that's normal. It's like, oh look, there's a spider on that building. And it's like 10 stories tall.
And that's what I've been hearing in the webinars that I might start seeing here.
Yes. Well, yeah, and that's so another reality is blending into this one.
Hmm. Is that going to be
So
shared? Like, is it just my perspective, or are other people going to see it too?
it'll be your perspective, but little by little, others will see it. Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you interact with them, it's a whole other story. People just think they're seeing things. It's like, why would you be seeing something like that?
Well, it seems like whatever I can look at and I can project my energy at, would they be able to feel my, like consciousness looking at them, if I do see them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is the alien people? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh
when I
yes, no doubt. Yes. Yeah, they know. Yeah, they know that you who you are. So yeah,
or they know me
feel.
better than I know myself right now.
Well, they don't know everything about it. They just know that you're a little bit more aware. You don't have to give them too much credit.
All right, all right.
There's only
All right,
so much they're allowed to know.
man, the same here. So it's
So
like
they,
I'm keeping secrets from myself.
yeah, well, it's like they know that you're sensitive. They just know that you're. It's like, hey, this is one of us. You can say, but they don't know how. They don't have all the details about you.
Okay, all right. So it's just gives them a
Well,
different.
like if they approach, well, let's put it this way: if the alien person approaches you, they have psychic abilities like you, so they can just pick up on your energy, feel like you pick up on them. And
Yeah,
so,
well, I don't really pick up on them. That's why I was asking the question because
mhm,
to for me, it's just intuition. I feel
mhm.
energies, but they don't really blend. I can't differentiate them from my field. So I'm thinking I'm feeling these things, 24/7 when I'm
Okay,
awake. Yeah.
yes. Well, here, so anything obviously like a festival or easier to go to is like a grocery store, and there's always going to be some kind of alien there somewhere.
All right.
Wherever there's a crowd, a festival obviously there's a lot of aliens there, and usually they stand out. Usually they're not part of the group. Usually,
Is it like a particular collective, Orion, Pleiadian, or
oh,
you
they're
have a motley crew of
all
them?
all of them.
Right.
They're all here.
Very cool.
Usually, so like a hippie type of person, but a lot of
Okay.
times they don't want to stand out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah.
detecting is not very easy. No,
Right. All right. Very
yes.
cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll just
Something
leave
to
it.
You can put the intention, like if you go to the grocery store, we'll just use that for example. You could put the intention, if there are any aliens here like to interact with them, like maybe you walk by one and you feel something from them that's a little bit different.
All right.
It's something to think about.
I try and be a little bit more open when I'm walking around the place.
Yeah, something to think about.
All right. Very cool. Thank you, Ashtar. Much love.
All right. Thanks.
Blessings.
Greetings, Ashtar Command.
Greetings.
Could you just explain more to everyone what Ashtar Command does? Because a lot of us don't have a lot of knowledge about Ashtar, like what dimension. And as we see on YouTube, we see Ashtar Command, like people have messages, and it always shows the Palladian
Mhm.
as the mouthpiece of you guys. But isn't it a mixture of all kinds of different beings? And what exactly do you do? Like like a police, like justice, or could you explain for everybody?
Well, we help with Earth's ascension like any other group. We can also have different names to our group. Also, the Ashtar is the one that we're basically Nordic beings, but we can be Syrian Palladian. So you might see a Palladian being or something that looks like a Palladian being. It's actually a Syrian energy, but overall, we're just helping with the Earth's ascension behind the scenes. Uh, as we deal with reptilians. A lot of reptilians do infiltrate a lot of people, channeling our energies and talking about the end of the world and things like that. Well, because our name has become known, so people will get it. People will be interested in it, so it gets manipulated a lot.
Yes,
But
it does.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, about me, I'm
Mhm.
going through a different timeline where I'm back at a job where a guy passed away, and I really feel like it's where I'm supposed to be because I feel like I'm supposed to be healing people because it's still real stunned. Like all the workers that had been there, they're very stunned about the situation of his passing, getting electrocuted. And I feel like I'm there to help people to move on and heal from it, because they're not at all. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, there. Yeah, it's an angelic energy. But also the person that died, you're helping that person cross over still. So people are still holding on to them. So you're healing those connections, so that person can cross over without being held back. Because right now, I believe that person's kind of wandering around a little bit.
I feel that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're there to, you go about it gently, but so many people are grieving or they're scared about themselves. So they're holding on to him. And he's holding on to them too, because he's scared himself. I believe over time you'll be able to release him though. It might take a couple of months. He kind of left before his time, as you can tell. So
Yeah, well, I don't want him to be the poster boy of, hey guys, electricians, pay attention to what you're doing and lock out, turn off everything, energize parts, or this is what will happen. You will die. It will kill you. And I think he's going to be the poster boy, and I hate it. But like you said, like a lot of people are putting themselves in check, saying, let's be safer. Let's.
Yeah, it's going to be like that for a while. But yeah, it doesn't look like he was being all that safe from what I can pick up from him.
No.
So it was like it was going to happen anyway. He wasn't listening to all the protections. He wasn't following all procedures from what I can see.
And what's bad is he was one of the best. So
yeah, it feels like the ownership there is very lenient on safety, from what I can pick up from them.
Well, what everybody doesn't like is everybody that's affiliated with this big company. They keep saying that they don't know how he died, and I hate that. I really hate it, because everybody that says that are saying a lie, even if you know it is. And that's just what I'm dealing with. And
it feels like he didn't have all his safety checks. He wasn't grounded properly. So
he got the neutral. I think it was a neutral that
it's like one of his safety checks wasn't fully checked. Let's put it that way. So I believe it's very basic, but he wasn't. I feel like he became a little bit over. He just thought it could never happen to him.
Yeah.
So he said technically that was his time to go. That's one way to go, right?
Yes, it is. It's ride the lightning.
Yeah, it's just his energy is still kind of he's still kind of shaken up by it. Because he wasn't expecting to go like that.
Well, I knew him real well, and he was really connected to this matrix. The money, he had a beautiful young daughter, everything. So I can see it being a shock.
Oh yeah. That's one way of sending someone to the spirit world very quickly. But if you're not ready for the spirit world, which he isn't, so you can say technically he's trying to get back into his body, back into the physical, which isn't going to happen. So it's a lot of lesson. But yeah, you are helping. You're helping clear out that frequency and let people continue on their lives, be more safe. Safety obviously is really big right now there.
Yes, it is.
That's not going to happen again. That's for sure.
Okay, well, I'll let somebody else go. Thank you so much. Blessings.
Yes, blessings.
You definitely don't want OSHA in your plant, because that brings in a whole bunch of problems. So, Bobby, you can piss off a reptilian and they will show up on you like Lizzie did. So, Ashtar, can you tell me if Lizzie is still in and out of my house?
I feel mostly out.
Is it safe?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what kind of golden reptilian he was?
A little bit of Anunnaki.
Is that
Oh,
where our connection is?
yes. I feel like that reptilian kind of had kind of anger towards you. I feel like it was blaming you for a lot of things that wasn't your fault. So I almost feel like it was grieving.
Yeah, that's what I got, because the conversation after that was, we're going to have to make this work, or you're going to have to get out, and it's going to be a problem for you because you're not protected.
Yeah, Lizzie needs to move on. I think she's getting the idea of that now, finally. Yeah, it's like grieving, and she doesn't know how to deal with her situation.
Is there something that is really connected between the two of us?
Well, I feel like she blames you, like from your galactic groups. She felt like your galactic group. She's not saying which one it was, but that she felt like they were supposed to protect her, and she was doing a lot of things she should not have been doing, and she got herself in some situation. She's blaming everybody and not taking responsibility for her own actions. That's what I see there.
Okay, so she's like all the rest of them. They come hide in my house. Okay.
Well, you're kind of like a commander. You are a commander. He sees you as an authority figure, so it's like, you have somebody coming to you for advice or just coming to you to complain.
Is that the Seraphim?
Yeah.
There was one timeline that they needed to get a hold of a nuclear scientist, otherwise that timeline will go bad. They did arrest the guy. I don't feel like he's still with us, but that timeline changed, and I feel like there's two other timelines. What are you concerned about?
Oh yeah, those timelines. Oh, war. Yeah, nuclear war is still a worry. Actually, with Russia, due to Ukraine in the U.S. and Russia.
Well, you can't blame Putin for going in there and looking for biolabs.
No.
I mean, they've been attacking those people for a very, very long time.
Plus, the U.S. is doing cloning illegally
at that facility, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have illegal cloning, and you say Putin knew about it. We'll have other things they're doing that they should not be doing. Mutations, scientific, pretty much like what the Nazis were doing.
And child trafficking.
Yes.
And how does Ashtar Command help with the child trafficking? Are you in there with us when we go in the tunnels in Astral?
Yes, but we get defeated a lot too. We get figured out, we get found because of our group that's known. So we do what we can, but there's a lot of other groups that are assisting. But yes, we work with timelines to see before it happens, to prevent it from happening. We do a lot of work in Mexico because there's a lot of trafficking there. I mean, if you say where Ashtar is, it's mostly in Mexico, around the border. It's in Ukraine, but a lot of it's in Mexico. Yes, China, but Mexico, as you can probably tell, there's a lot going on there. Wow, illegal activity.
How are you concerned about Poland?
Not so concerned. It seems to be, they seem to be okay. Well, not okay, but we don't see anything happening there.
Well, with the nuclear scientist that was arrested, did that take us off the timeline?
Yes.
For war? Okay.
Mm-hmm. But still, war. Yeah, nuclear war can still occur without Poland, though. It's a concern. It most likely won't happen, but it's still a concern.
I want to ask one more question about the sun. And when I'm actually looking at the government sites, there's big balls of magnetic energy that are passing by.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are other planets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot's kept away from. Just follow your intuition from that.
When there's a big blowout in the magnetosphere, is that what's behind us that's pulling on us, or is it a push and pull both ways?
It's a push and pull. Well, usually it's an attack on the sun. You see something like that,
Okay.
which happens often, actually.
Yes.
And that's there to create timelines, cause difficulties to the Earth. And I mean, Earth technically rules your solar system, even if it is in the third dimension. It's a very complicated planet, as you can see.
Well, she's very tough.
Yep. But yeah, she's not going anywhere, that's for sure.
All right, great. Thank you.
Right.
Blessings.
Anybody?
Yeah, if you
Next.
just go ahead. If like, there's no set order or anything, so a bunch of people have their hands raised.
Jane?
All right, I'll go. Let's go, Litia.
All right.
So I've been just like, my brain's gonna. I've been downloading a lot of information, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot. It's like I know that at some point I'm gonna have to kind of like not slow it down because of the amount of it. It's just, I guess, transcribe it into here. I'm gonna ask maybe first, just out of curiosity, Andrew Bartz's. He was a pretty significant part of my awakening. Like I found his galactic history years ago, and like 2000 and I think 14 or 13. And it's funny because his personality, I don't necessarily love everything about, or his, but regardless, I'm really grateful to him because and I'll put down his information like every other teacher. Like I'll listen to them. I didn't understand the first time I listened. I just knew there was truth in it. Then I came back years later, listened, came back, and now for some reason I started listening to him again, re-listening to the old stuff and just the levels and layers that I could understand now. It's pretty amazing that I'm actually able to put the puzzle pieces together the way that I am. I was just curious if him and I have any type of connection, like in the journey of, like, why did he end up being somebody that's, I don't have very many people that but I know that he knows the story to a pretty accurate degree.
Well, he's like a burst of energy. So you've known him in other lifetimes. He's kind of like a shaman. He's the type to walk around with a bell and get everybody's attention and talk crazy.
Yeah.
So no matter what reality, you talk about 1800s, 1500s, he's always talking about something that's, bizarre.
That's funny.
And you can say he was there just to snap you out of your current reality. Look at it that way. So yeah, you've known him here and there. But yeah. The past is so multi-dimensional, even convoluted. There's so many different timelines. But yeah, he has a good idea of it, but it's so complex.
Yeah,
One
it's
person.
complex, but it's almost like I kind of see like it's kind of also simultaneously pretty simple.
Yes.
And that part that I'm kind of grasping, and then when I get caught up in the details again, then my brain starts kind of bouncing around. I'm like, wait, but that contradicts this, but that's also true. I've been getting a lot of like information about like kind of how we started off today with I feel like there was like a point in time where we kind of got like not a blank slate in the sense of not having our connection to the information of what we've been through on all the different timelines, but we got a chance where we are kind of like, we as humans actually want to just move on. We don't want like the wars and different things, but it's almost like it's only being programmed into us through trauma, bondage, like manipulating our beliefs from when these things happened prior on other timelines. So we will, and how it was said, like you will, and then our belief system can create it, but it's almost as if everything is not being created to the extent and the degree that it was on those original timelines. So yeah, there will be like a little war here, there will be a little war there. but the majority of the people, they don't really even have the energy. It's like a movie that kind of like, oh no, this is going to happen, and now it kind of just fizzles out. We don't really have even the energy to fight this full-on war or something that maybe we have on other timelines and things like that. And now our fear and our memory, and some of the memories can even be false inserted, and so we create that through just our belief system. So now that's the only thing that's in the way. And then it's almost like we're merging all the timelines onto this one ascension timeline. But I kind of understood that merging, it's not really as much blending at all as through our memory, taking everything positive, all the things and lessons that we learned, and by free will choice, putting them onto this one ascension timeline. I don't know.
Yes. Well, there, like for your history, a lot of these timelines are in the fourth dimension, fifth dimension. They can't always be described or understood here in the physical. Of course, you get little pieces of it, but a lot of it is just at such a range of energy that's like impossible to decipher it here in the physical realm.
I don't think we can even.
No,
I
you
think
can't.
that
You can try though.
actually that, because I was thinking about, like, if we have information, like let's say we're going on a mission, we don't want to take all of our information, all our history with us. We want to keep it in a safe, and we want to make sure that nobody's going to hijack that safe. Nobody's going to steal that safe. Nobody's going to manipulate it. So there was some point where we did leave information that that's what happened, and then we figured out how to actually simultaneously keep that information untouchable in some safe outside. And it's almost like we're trying to reach that place which is not in the physicality, because that's what holds the entire story.
Yeah,
we're all kind of merging to a higher plane to get there.
Well, yeah, many of you you're bringing timelines here, you're coding them and protecting them to bring in like peace, where others want to bring chaos. So you bring that peaceful timeline, but you're seen as like a common person. It's like, oh, that person's not doing anything, but actually you are.
Yeah.
And you're not alone. There's others of you here too, doing it in stealth.
Yeah, a lot of us, it's just like in the energy field. Like we almost don't necessarily even have to do anything. Of course, we should to entertain ourselves and stay sane, but
yes.
Yeah,
do what you can. But yeah, sometimes doing just regular life choices, just a mundane life, you can look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's still a big deal though.
Joy. That's the main thing that it feels like the answer really is going to be, like, we're not going to solve this. It'd be like having like an endless therapy session and digging out, and like it's really going to be at some point like we got to like let out, okay, this happened, this bad stuff happened, but we're not going to endlessly try to dissect it and try to solve it. It's actually going to be like, okay, this happened, we're going to have this scar, but now how can we start all moving into joy? And that joy frequency is what's going to liberate us and start building trust again with each other. And I think the only answer that I have so far, what makes it easier in physicality, is just playing music together and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, some of the trauma timelines you keep with you, because it helps you with your strength. It's like a reminder of what you've been through. So it keeps you strong. Yeah, because if you have just pure happiness here and you just want everybody to be happy, it can really just push you off into a whole other reality, practically. And we're here to be strong.
Yeah, it helps you have that memories for now. It's like you have discernment, but eventually, like, we have to go through that healing process, and that's why that grid on the planet, all that, like, it's gradually getting removed, and those new energies are coming in, so we actually can have time to heal and process the shit that we all are carrying, and then eventually go into our joy. And I don't mean like happy joy, just whatever joy is, in the sense of feeling alive, passion, like connection, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but those the Schumann resonance, so many people are interested in that. It's really just the energy of people.
Yeah, it changes all the time.
Yeah, and your energy, yeah, you're when it has a burst, you're doing a lot with the astral. You're actually a lot of times stopping a timeline from really altering your world. So,
Yeah.
So
All right. I'll let someone else go. I guess I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah,
that's
just
okay.
speaking what's been coming through. And
Yes, very good.
thank you very much.
Yes, keep up with the music. It's definitely helping
Awesome.
for
Thank
sure.
you.
Right,
Yeah, I think
blessings.
that's what helped me along the whole journey.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I
drums.
feel like I would have been gone.
Well, I feel like you're healing the snake. I see a snake
Mhm.
there. You're healing that snake energy from your own lifetimes and your
Like
modern.
trust and betrayal, because the music is the one thing where I'm like, wait, if I can hear music, like hear it with my heart and soul, that means music can hear me also, which is like this
Yes.
kind of confirmation of us not being alone. And it's easier to heal trust and betrayal, which is a big, big wound for all of us to some degree.
Well, it's like you're putting the reptilian to sleep.
Hmm.
The reptilians that are here on your planet, you're putting them to sleep.
Bedtime.
Yeah, you're letting them all just ease their troubles, leave people alone. It's almost like an episode from Star Trek. It's like you're just walking with your drum. It's like, whoa, this is strange. Just walk around beating your drum. And then, you see the beings that are manipulating reality,
That's so funny.
showing
My head just
themselves.
started tingling. There was years ago where I took a drum into the nature. We were sitting under these trees in
Yeah.
this forest, and this lizard came out. And
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend were playing the drums, and we were laughing because the lizard was literally jamming with us. He would
Awesome.
stop moving, like his head, when
Funny.
the drums would stop, and then we'd start drumming, and he would go to the beat of the drum. And I'm like, hey, Jenna, look, that lizard, it's literally moving. And we kept trying it, and it was actually like jamming to the drums.
Yep. Loved it.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
All right. Blessings.
Blessings.
Greetings, Ashtar.
Drinks.
I'd like clarity on an experience I had over 20 years ago. I was in the high Andes in Peru. And it was with a small group. And I feel like I lost, I didn't really lose consciousness, but something happened. And I was face down on the earth, just merging with the earth. And then when I finally came back to what I'll say was consciousness, and I was being held by somebody, and I just looked around, the small circle of people, which were people from my group and then people from the village. And I felt it was like how God would love us.
Yeah.
And I would just really like clarity on this experience.
Yeah, you went to out of body experience. You went to, I believe, Agartha. Yeah, you went to heal the earth. I mean, you're there for a reason.
Yeah, and it was
to merge with the earth's energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say bring clarity to yourself too while you're here. But also to show others, in your group, like you say how special you are, you can say technically, like what your mission is. It was a wake up call for them too. So it seemed like it was to get their attention also.
Okay.
It didn't have to happen like that, but for you, I feel like that was the way to go. I feel like you couldn't help it. You had to go.
couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, you're attracted to. You went to a whole nother. It's like you lived another life for a short time. You were gone for like a short time here in the physical, but it was like you lived a whole nother life somewhere else.
Okay. It was a very beautiful and, of course, memorable experience.
So you came back to bring the joy back to others that you're with.
Okay.
Yep. There's probably more to it than that, but yeah.
Yeah, because what I was told was that there were 3 invisible light beings around, and they wanted me to go with them because there are tunnels all over Peru.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to go back in these tunnels and go with them. So
yes, definitely. Yeah.
So another similar experience where I was just in an airplane flying west, and as we got lower and could see the earth, the land, I would just start crying uncontrollably. And then during that trip I was out on the land, and then flying home again, every time I'd look out, if I didn't look out, I was fine. But if I looked out at the land, it was just sobbing, crying.
No. Yeah,
Was
it's
it
Mother Earth's energy, emerging with Mother Earth again.
okay?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. It seems obvious, but it just helps you confirming that for me. So thank you.
Yeah, it's just it shows where you belong. You're part of the earth. So it's, you go into those places, it's almost like you're putting your arm around those that are going through a lot in that part of the world. It's like
Mhm.
you're giving them comfort by being there.
Okay.
Like you're crying with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
And you say that land still misses you, you can say.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, blessings.
Greetings, Ashtar.
Drinks.
I was wondering if you can tell me if you have any message from you to me.
Just traveling, I think, is good for you. Going places. It doesn't have to be far, but it feels like you need to get out and do something new.
I'm going to kind of festival next week, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's good.
Yeah, I have. Can you tap into my past life connections with Irina? Can you see how many times we have lived together or known each other? I have met him in this incarnation, and we have been together in the past, and then we came in touch last month, and we have been hanging out, and we have been having a lot of fun. If you have any suggestion on how I can work with myself to don't have trust issues in the future.
Like, it's hard. I can't understand. Who is this person that you want to connect with?
This person is my ex, who I've
Oh,
been together with, and I've known him for a past life, and we got in connection again this last month.
mm.
And I was just wondering if you can tell me how many lifetimes we had together before.
Oh yeah, I've had Anunnaki lifetimes, but also feline lifetimes. I mean, it feels like I feel like he's been a bear in his lifetime. I don't know if he looks like a bear, but feels like one. Feels like you like to absorb energies. It just feel like he's been like a wild animal in your past, and you've some reason you have a way of taming him. So, I mean, you've been a human. Yeah, you've actually had jungle lifetimes where he's come to you as an animal being. Apparently, many times.
Wow, yeah.
And then he
I felt
calms
that.
down. He's always been curious
Yeah.
about you. Well, it's almost like you banished him for a long time. You couldn't take him anymore, so he kind of showed up as an animal in other lifetimes in their past. It's like you're trying to get back into your field. So it feels like in this lifetime you're healing your wounds. So yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, he is. I
Yeah,
had also a connection to his mother who passed away, and can you see if there's something with me and her, because we also got really close connection. We got very fast in touch with each other, and we just like became best buddies with her. So this was very like not a mother-in-law kind of relationship. It was like kind of friends or sisters. So it was something special. I don't know. It's just
well, she's hard-headed like him too. I mean, yeah, she's been like a grandmother to you in previous lifetimes. She's been also a sister in your previous lifetimes, known in Palladian a lot of times. I feel like you give her a second chance also, but she takes advantage of the situation too. So she's similar to him in a lot of ways. But yes, you do get along with her a lot better. She has
Yeah,
no
I
agenda,
do.
unlike him. He has all kinds of
Right.
agendas, apparently.
Yeah, of course. Uh, but when it comes to the case, yeah, he's kind and he actually does a lot of good things for others. So that's that makes things a lot better.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I was wondering if you have any suggestion on how I can tap into my multi-dimensional self.
This meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation, using your intuition. But it feels like you have a lot going on in your physical, so it's hard to focus on that. So
Yeah.
you just gotta focus on your intuition. Just what do you feel? It's like the physical world is absorbing a lot of your attention. So just do the best you can right now.
Yeah,
Just
I'm doing best. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, I'll let someone else go and thank you very much for the
All right. Yeah.
the answers.
All
Thank
right.
you. Blessings.
Blessings.
Yeah, Ashtar Command. I was wanting to ask, this was a long time ago, but I was religiously into Sylvia Brown, and just one thing that I wanted to know is, she said that we all had animal totems, and and I just want to know if that's true. And she told me mine was a bear. Is there a such thing, or
Yeah, there's such thing, but I mean, I see. Well, you have a bear, but you actually have a hawk. I see a hawk with you.
okay?
So at the time, you can have different totems too, but it feels like you went from a bear to a hawk. So
And is that something that helps protect me, or what exactly?
well, as a bear, you like absorb energies, and as a hawk, it's like you're kind of sort of flying through life. Not that you feel that way, but in some ways, that's how you are right now.
Yeah,
So it's just you're not letting things hold on. You're not holding on to anything, which is
a-
good.
and that's I want to follow up this
Hmm.
question with that.
Sure. Yeah.
So the past, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, my vibration has went through the scales.
Hmm.
I mean, I know it's in the higher fourth, and kind of, and my physical is not just my, and it's just like, even though I'm a handicapped, with pain and stuff like that, I can do work, because it's the soul, it's the drive, it's the person in the vehicle, and so I just want to know, because I even boosted my testosterone levels, even though, I'm a guy that's over
Hmm.
40.
Hmm.
My testosterone has come back, and I've been, how testosterone will help you be
Yes.
anyway.
Yes.
So what do you see with me, my vibration? Because it makes work so much easier. It just seems like nothing really hurts me, or anything. So
Hmm.
can you tell me anything about that?
Well, it has a lot to do with your job too. How you're there to help others. So you agreed upon it. So you've been through a lot physically. So it's like you can say you went to the karmic court and said, what's the deal here? It's like I've been through all this. I need some help. And so you agree. This is an agreement with your energy field to be the way it is right now. So, and it is about helping others and yourself, of course. But a lot of it's you just working on your own. Yeah, just you do. You need to be where you're at right now. You're kind of like Paul Bunyan, if you know who that is.
Yes, I do.
You're just
But
doing, And you could say you're pulling in your angelic energy, as you know. So you are your life is a miracle, basically. You know, you're experiencing a miracle with your how you are right now. So
Yeah, and I just ask this. So I was told that like psychic attacks. I've had only
Mhm.
one that was very very terrible,
Mhm.
very very terrible because I can feel it stronger when something negative, real
Mhm.
bad is around. And
Mhm.
I was told that with being like this, a high vibe, a higher
Mhm.
fourth dimension, that beings or what will try to take it away from me. Could you give me some pointers on what to do so that doesn't happen?
Just stay active. I don't see that's as long as you're careful who you're around. I mean, people at work is fine, but just if somebody makes you mad spiritually, just don't interact with it. Don't get mad. Get glad, because
Yeah.
some can attack you. With spells and stuff. But I wouldn't worry about that. Just continue the path you're on. You should be fine.
And
Yeah. Just.
one more question. I'm gonna slide in here and let somebody
Mhm.
else go. My cat Nebula has been coming to my room and I don't know, just hanging out. And it's
Mhm.
very very weird and
Mhm.
uncommon. Is there anything? Is she healing me? What exactly is she doing?
Was just curious to see what you're up to. So you're doing something there. It's like, wow, with your energy field. She's definitely attracted to it. She's a little skimmish. She's scared of everything, it feels like.
Yes.
So that's to
But
do with her upbringing before you had her. So she's just scared of everything. So she's getting really used to you though. So she feels safe in your room. Let's put it that way. If the
okay.
world gets weird in your house, your room is a safe place for her, it seems. That's what
Yeah,
I'm picking up.
I was trying to tell her that telepathically earlier.
Hmm. Yeah, she's just scared. She's just a scaredy cat.
Huh.
I mean, she's just scared of her own shadow.
Yes, she
She's like a
is.
little finicky little thing. She can't mellow out. She'll mellow out with age, but right now it's just the way she's gonna be for a while until she gets older.
And I want to ask about my birds. I have chickens, and of course I don't slaughter them. I just got them for have life in the background because we have a fenced in area.
Hmm.
But I was just wondering how are they doing because I've tried to put up a protection shield throughout my land.
Hmm.
So hawks, even though hawks and stuff like that, are not going to, kill them.
Hmm. Yeah, they seem to be fine. You have like a couple of chickens there.
Yeah, four.
Or yeah, they're just like a little, little click going on there. So they're all talking to they're talking to each other, talking about everything. It's like going to the mall. you know, like little teenagers at the mall. That's how they're acting.
Are they aware of me at all?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, but they're so into themselves. They are, but they're just doing what they're very social to each other.
yeah,
So yeah, they're aware of you though. Yeah,
okay, all right. Well, thank you so much. Blessings.
blessings.
Greetings, Ashtar, ma'am.
Greetings.
Um, I had a while back. I had one of my uh, dream-like states or whatever, and I was doing what I do of trying to make peace all around me, and it was with this goo, kind of a goo, and it seemed to be like construction or something, trying to get these like very solid and you know. Angles and hard surface and this goo to get together. and everyone be happy. Can you look into that and tell me what was going on?
Oh, what is it that you're doing exactly? I'm not.
I was in like a, well, not a trance, but another state, and I was just putting. It was like putting images together and trying to get these two things that don't normally fit together to go together. This kind of gooey like jelly substance, and then it seems like wood and bits and pieces, and trying to like kind of go, look, you guys can coexist together and be happy and whatever. Do you get anything on that?
Well, you're still doing it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's not. It's getting somewhere, but it's not been fully. It's the long game there.
Okay.
It seems like some of it's just they're just not getting along. I'm not sure if they want to get along, but it seems like you're putting your best effort in, as you can see.
Can you tell me more of what it is, or who they are, or?
It's not really clear, like family members or yeah, just in your own life too. It feels like you're putting your own life together. It's like you're putting your I feel like you're focusing your life into the direction you want it to. And sometimes you put a square peg into a into a circle.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're working on your own timeline. You are making progress with that though.
At last. Okay. At last. Oh, that's very nice to know. Okay.
Well, it feels like you wanted it one way, and it wasn't really going so well. So now you're trying something new, it seems. That's helpful.
Yes.
It will work. Yes. What you're doing now will work. It might take some time, but it is in the right path, though.
Good. Okay, that sounds wonderful.
So it just takes effort on your side, action. Just keep doing what you feel like you needed to do physically.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I wanted to check up with my mom, who's now in Germany taking care of a cat. How is she doing on a different level?
She can't always get along with the cat. She has trouble getting along with anybody, it seems. But the cat's teaching her a lot.
Oh, yes.
Just to be settled down a little bit, mellow out is probably the best word for it.
Yeah.
She's having trouble taking it easy, especially over worries about everything.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
So the cat's helping her with that.
Yay.
I mean, you're helping her with longevity. I mean, you're going to help her, cross over when the time's right. When the time is right, because she's terrified of that.
Oh, yeah. So interesting.
It's not quite there yet, but obviously that time will come eventually.
It's interesting to see how terrified she is of something that obviously, it's how it can happen. So, anyway.
It feels like she'll go in her sleep with what I'm picking up on, but I feel like you're going to be there to kick her out of her body, though.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't want to go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she's afraid of it, and she's worried about it, and she doesn't want to go. Yeah. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
There. And when the time's ready, when the spirit world says it's a go, you get the green light, you're going to kick her soul out of her body.
Go now.
And she'll go to the right place. You'll be there for her. She'll be terrified. She can see the nicest beings in the universe and to be terrified, as you probably know.
Oh, yeah. Fear first and then trust later. Yeah.
No.
That's her.
Yeah, I would say that's one of the reasons why you incarnated here was because of her, because she gets stuck here. It's not your only reason for being here, but it's one of them.
No. Well, that's a noble cause. My goodness. Okay.
Yeah, seriously, because she's known to get stuck here as a ghost, and she's stuck here forever. She's done it many times.
I could definitely see that out of sheer stubbornness.
Yeah, and that's one of your, like I say, that's not your main reason for being here, but it's like one of the many other things that you're here to do, of course.
Can you give me some more input on some other reasons I would be here?
Oh yeah, relationship, finding the right relationship, the person to be with, and also just finding more clarity about your own self, like connecting to your highest potential,
Mm.
whatever it is, whatever you define that as. It could be just taking it easy, whatever, not worrying about anything. It's a big deal. People worry about things all the time.
I was just saying in the chat how we don't have to, we could just, watch bad TV all day or go to the mall and just check out, and yet we'll still be doing a lot of what we came here for, and on different levels. And on I said we could be an intergalactic warrior still, even though here on Earth we're just, going blah. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you could be in the fourth dimension fighting aliens with laser guns and all that. And you come here working at the dollar store.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You
Why am I here? Why am I here? Yeah.
Yeah, and as you see here on this world, just doing some of the most mundane jobs is still a big deal. People don't see it that way, but it actually is. It
Yeah.
might seem mundane, it really isn't. But yeah.
It's something that I think animals are much better at looking at. Oh wow, look, we're this wonderful world, and look at dogs, how
Yep.
easily pleased they are. It's like, oh good, dog food again, yum yum yum, and it's like,
Yep.
God, okay, like this isn't all the first time you eat it, and I'm sure it's not that good, but God, do they like it?
Well, yeah, dogs and cats, yeah, they're and any animal friend. Look, a rabbit just hangs out all day.
Yeah.
It's just it's to get people to center, to chill out, calm down,
Yeah.
which is very hard. Like they sleep for you. If you can't sleep, your dog or cat will sleep for you.
Yeah.
If people are having anxiety problems, yeah.
Get a cat, get a rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Very cool.
you can have outdoor animals like the squirrels, the birds outside.
Yeah.
They're part of your field too. You might not always see them. You might not always pay attention. But you'd be surprised.
I have one last question, which is about I've heard a lot with who they've been saying how trees are not being our friends, or they can be actually turned against us. I have a big, huge tree in front of my house, which I love looking at in the morning. Is that tree being nasty, or is that a nice tree?
No, it's usually nice to you. It might have issues with other neighbors, but it's nice to you though.
Okay.
I think it
Good.
doesn't get along with other people. It doesn't like how they treat each other. That's an area.
Okay.
So it's not trying. It's not trying to. There are some trees that live in a forest or a swamp. Some of them, they have to deal with themselves there.
Oh, are they there for punishment?
Well, some trees are in the swamps and just, hey, how's it going? Look at that nice bird. Other trees like, don't talk to me about any of that. Just leave me alone. So yeah, some are dealing with their own issues. Yeah. Well, sometimes they do it as a human. They still can't figure out their difficulties, so they incarnate as a tree and see if they can figure it out there.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah, to clear out their anxiety.
Because
the trees are always talking to each other.
Yeah. Oh,
so they talk with the earth. Mother Earth comes to the tree and talks to you to see if it can get you out of this funk that you might be in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Mother Earth's talking to everybody. She has a busy schedule.
Well, thank you, Mother Earth.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Blessings.
Blessings.
All right. Anybody else? Please
Anybody going that hasn't been? I could go.
Step forward.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
When spells and you bring up, I got a message about curses are not always a bad thing. and it came from my boyfriend's Celtic man. So you
Mhm.
brought up spells. First of all, the Celtic man, is that his higher self or is that someone else?
Feels like a higher self.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with the curses, do they have to be in the language or is it your intention? And
Is
what
it
about karma?
well, curses, yeah, are energy or thoughts. So if you're angry at someone, you can curse somebody just with your anger. You know, you can do it to spirit beings too. If you're mad at somebody,
Hmm.
especially like someone that's crossed over, it's different kind of curses. Like if you have negative intentions to someone, yeah, it's kind of like a curse. That is a curse. But if you're just mad at someone, it's a little bit different. You're just mad. You're like a dark cloud around them, and that's where the karma comes in. It's like, oh, I did that person wrong, and everywhere they go, they see that person's face. It's like, okay, what do I need to go through to fix this? So, you know, karma can go on for forever
Right.
if a person doesn't want to face it.
And I've got a black cat named Billy,
Mhm.
and he's been up my butt. Can you tell me about that?
Well, it's almost like it feels like he sees himself as your relationship. So it's like his name is Billy, right?
Yeah.
Feels like he feels like he's your boyfriend. So he's always on your case, it seems.
Yeah, he's extremely talkative, and I can see that.
Yeah, he wants he's keeping ghosts away from your field. Sometimes you attract them. You're not trying to. I think sometimes like he's warning you. Yeah, he talks to angels too. It's like, don't you see the angel that's next to you? I see him. He's like he's always excited to see you though.
Yeah, he is.
He feels like he's responsible for you though. So
Okay, so I need to talk to him more.
yeah, just yeah, just pet him and just love him.
Can you tell me what angelics are coming through that he's so excited about?
Right now I feel Archangel Michael. I believe it has to do with the military energy that's around you. Michael seems to be around, just seeing what they're up to. So
Yeah, the
but they don't
golden
interfere with you too much. Yeah.
the golden drone comes around when it scans the house and I'm in the basement. I don't think they can see me in the basement.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, they're testing a lot of stuff there, it seems.
Yeah, they know I'm there, and they keep an eye on me to make sure that I don't do anything stupid to them.
You're not going to do anything, but you are definitely watching them, and they don't like that. But there's nothing you can do about it either. It's like it's almost like like it's like you're a spaceship right
Mhm.
next to the neutral zone, and you won't move. You just sit there and see what they're up to, kind of like that.
There you go, Bobby. That's one way to piss them off.
Yeah, and they're over there like there's some snake beings there, of course, or reptilians, and they're just the military is just they know they're doing things they should not be doing, but they do them anyway. There is some mind control that's going on there too, as you can probably know that.
Yeah, I bounced it off me, or tried to.
Yep. There's some MK Ultra. They're doing government experiments there. Not a lot, but they're doing some.
So you had such a heavy presence coming through Ivan. Did we answer what you needed to get answered or said or put out there
Said yes. We're just putting our presence here.
for
Yeah.
comfort?
Showing others that we're here. Yeah, we can't always yes, his mission accomplished, yes. It's
Okay,
going
thank
well.
you.
Yes.
And blessings.
Blessings.
I'll go. Hi,
Greetings.
Ashtar.
You too.
My first question is what my connection is with your collective because I had a dream. I don't know how much I should go into it, but I had a dream where I felt like I was connected to you.
Yeah,
And
you're like a wizard. You're like a space wizard.
very
So
cool.
you appear to us to give us advice. You tell us when we're being infiltrated. You keep reptilians, at bay, you can say. So yeah, Ashtar, our group's like a neutral. We connect to everybody, and some you can say some are reptilians when they people channel their fears. Happens all the time. So we're almost like a I guess I guess we can call it we're like a library of everything. So beings come to us to get information, all that. So it's like also like we can't win. It's like we're trying to do good, then others kind of mess it up for us. Like just our name gets tarnished and all that. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, go ahead if you have a question.
No, that was helpful because I never, at least that I could remember, had like a name for any of the beings that I was connected to. So I figured, but that
Good.
makes sense because I'm always looking for more information. So a library
Yeah.
would make sense for me.
When I see you with us, yeah, you help us. You connecting to us helps us clear our anxiety because aliens do have anxiety themselves. Obviously, it's supposed to be higher frequencies, but we get worried too. I mean, we're already dealing with the Earth, and the Earth has a lot going on. So having somebody like yourself connect with us is a side of relief. It's like, oh look, you're connecting with us, and you don't have an agenda, because many do. So
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially with Ashtar Command. Like I think Michael was mentioning that. So, my other question is, you mentioned the reptilians, and I've met one, probably more, that are into space medicine, and lately I've been researching that a lot. So I wanted to know if you got any vibes from that or had any information for me.
yeah, just herbs. I mean, physical herbs. I feel like you can't heal yourself, at least to a certain extent. It's like your soul doesn't really belong in your body. I mean, it does, but as you know, it's hard for your soul to be in your body sometimes. So you're kind of like you're needed somewhere else, but you are needed here. But you can do other things in other places. But as to the herbs, yeah, do what you feel is best. For sure, they're not really showing me any herbs in particular you need to do though. It's
Well,
whatever
that's
you feel.
cool because I was thinking more along the lines of because I've been researching about humans going into space, but the herbs I hadn't thought about. So
Mhm.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
Do you have any other messages for me?
Just not worry about the future, but I just see you doing some kind of higher education, like some kind of schooling that you can handle. I don't know what it might be. I do see science is something that you're good at. It's funny if you do like science, some people might say, if they work with you, it's like, "Yeah, you're not from here, are you?" So, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely had that when I've interacted with people in
Mhm.
science so far. So
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, whatever you want to do, professional. I feel like you'll find some kind of career that you're looking for that won't. I feel like there'll be some higher education there
for
somewhere. You'll
sure.
you'll find out what it is when you're ready.
All right, cool. That's
All
all
right,
I had. Thanks, though.
all right, blessings.
Blessings.
All right, any others?
Yes, I'll go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Um, so I had a dream where, I guess I was on a ship with a couple of Nordic women talking for hours, and was that you or someone else? Bigger collective?
That was somebody else. So I feel like they were connected to this Sirius. Yeah, I feel like there's old friends of yours. They're not really identifying themselves. Not that they need to. I mean, you feel like it was connected to a planet, so you feel like you were home You feel like you're in home.
I was wondering about my Hades and Poseidon and Zeus fractals. Is my Hades side is like my wisdom side?
Yeah, your Hades side seems to be the strongest right now. I feel like you're doing a lot of releasing currently. So yeah, it seems like you're still healing from that time period, even if it is, that was a while back. Well, because they still, even after the mythology, the Greek time, they're still doing a lot. So yeah, your other fractal selves are doing, some are doing good things, some are not doing good things, and you feel all that here. So, but you are healing from it though currently.
Is the Poseidon side more of my like creative side or just human side?
Yes, it's your creative, but also it's your emotional side. And you also feel the energies of the earth. You feel the energies of other people too. So it helps you understand humanity, you can say, through Poseidon. Some things you just know. That's through Poseidon.
And what about Zeus? Is that like leadership or is that like more of the 3D side of me?
Zeus is ego. But your side of Zeus is, if like you're calming, not that it's your ego, but Zeus has a lot of ego. But yeah, you're making, you're calming Zeus down is what I feel. For him to be more relatable within yourself, but also be able to connect to higher knowledge. So Zeus is about higher knowledge. I mean, of course, Poseidon is also, but Zeus is, kind of like a king. And so it has different experiences there. So,
Do you have any other like Greek fractals like that?
well, Poseidon, but it's connected to Neptune. So Neptune is the Roman version of Poseidon. So Neptune is another. It's more. That one's more grounded. The Poseidon's more like all over the place. He can do whatever he wants. He's like a god, obviously. He's super famous. He just loves it. Neptune is more grounded, more quiet, more tame. So the energy you pull from also. So it's more like your modern self now. You definitely Poseidon frequency too, but because back in the Greeks, they just did all kinds of stuff. The Romans did too, but the gods kind of they weren't so prominent as they were in the Greek times.
I was wondering what percent of humans have fractals like that, like the Greeks.
Well, I'll say about 5-10%. Probably more like 5. Not a whole lot. Not like with the gods. No. I mean, they have fractals with each other. Not everybody needs a fractal of a god. Of course, at least with the Greeks, a lot of people have fractals of Sumerian gods.
I was wondering, did Lilith save me from a destruction of a planet or a universe?
Universe, yes. I would say planet too, but it feels like more universe. Yeah. She's like a lover, but also she's that sister. She's also been your sister in previous lifetimes. I believe both of you are very alike, from what I can see. Let's put it this way: you get along with each other.
Oh, do I have any connection to Samael? Who he's connected to her also.
Yes, there's a connection there. Yes, it's not saying how the details of that, but yes, there is a connection for sure.
I was wondering about my legs, kind of like vibrating. Is that like my root chakra or my kundalini or just the energy of the earth?
Well, it's connected to your music, so it's like your legs are kind of like tuning forks that connect to the Earth's energy. So yeah, it just feels like like your legs want to be like fish tails. And we always want to be traveling. So you're like part fish, as you probably know that already.
I was wondering about the energy of the song I was working on this morning.
Sun, yeah, it's a little bit more stronger than usual. Yes, it's putting out a radiating energy that's yeah, that has to do with the timelines that are coming in. They're not showing themselves just yet.
I was wondering if it was kind of like French or Andromeda or something.
Andromeda.
I was wondering about. I wasn't feeling too good yesterday. Was that because of my friend getting harassed or something?
That was part of yeah, you felt the spirit guides around her a little bit frustrated. There wasn't much you can do, it seems.
I was wondering, Princess Diana told me that I have a lot of connections around the French Revolution. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, it feels like you were killed during that time, from what I can see. I think you're part of the French royalty. I don't know who, like a duke or something like that. And you're not saying like how you died there, but it feels like it was a guillotine involved with it. It might have been after the French Revolution. They had many revolutions. It was like the second one. It was probably during the time of Napoleon. Somewhere there that like you missed. You didn't get killed in the first one, but you did get involved with a lot of it. The second revolution during the time of Napoleon, that's where Napoleon was doing, he was clearing out the guard, you could say. Those are in charge in France. So the Napoleon for purge, you could say. At least that's what I said. I feel like you're at an older age at that time. You didn't think anybody can touch you, but apparently that wasn't the case. At least that's what I'm seeing there.
So it was more connected to the royalty, but it also have a connection to the other side, like the revolution.
Yeah, you're playing kind of both sides, and that's why you're saved. But you're still part of the royalty family, though. Yeah, you're doing concessions. You're doing good with the people, but that didn't always save you. Apparently, yeah, you weren't part of the main government that was just screwing the people over, but it was still affecting you. You're still part of the royalty family, though. One of them. They're not really saying which one, though.
Obviously, you knew Louis the.
Hmm.
I don't know what number that is. XP.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're like a cousin or something around those lines. So you weren't directly involved, but you still have some involvement. It still affected you though. But yeah, you did good to the people. You did what you could. A lot of things are out of your hands. Like the taxation, that wasn't. I don't think you're involved with that.
Lisa said you have Egypt and Napoleon. So we know they started in Napoleon times.
Yes. Mhm. During the good times, before before the Napoleon Wars.
Do they have a lot of Egyptian energy in Paris?
Yes. Yeah, especially during that time. Yes. Well, Napoleon brought a lot of Egyptian energies there. Even before Napoleon's time, it was there, but he kind of increased it. Yeah.
Does he? I was wondering if I'm eating my guides think I'm eating too much sugar.
It'd be good to half it. Yeah, to put in half. Yeah, to cut in half. or just calm it down. Yes.
I see. That's all I got for now. Thanks.
Blessings.
Oh, blessings. Thank you.
Blessings.
I wanted to ask a couple personal questions. Let's see here. I asked last webinar about accessing the Akashic records, and it was advised to try connecting with the collective energy to view the records. That's why I asked about more than, or I was looking to see, because they said the first collective that was amphibian, and that kind of reminded me of my grandmother when she came through an Atlantean channeling. She showed them a picture of me as an ancient Atlantean amphibian. And I was wondering, is that version of me a clue or a guide for me to accessing the records of my history?
Yes. Yeah, you can visualize your amphibian self. As you know, even your energy here is very non-human.
Would you be able
So,
to describe that picture that she showed them, or like what I looked like back then, so I can try and use my imagination to kind of piece the image together?
well, there's two different versions. There's a version where you truly do look like a frog person, a frog being, like a humanoid frog.
All right.
And then there's another version where you had a frog-like appearance, but you were still a human. But not that you had a long tongue or anything like that. You just had a lot of amphibian DNA.
What color was I?
I'll say Arabic. As a human, as a frog, you're just you're green. You look like a frog.
All right. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. And so when visualizing that, as far as accessing the Akashic records, is that a guide for me, or is that some?
Yes.
Can I consciously on a mental connection be able to go back and forth and exchange with that version of me?
Yeah, you can see if your frog self will navigate the green of a frog. See if that'll navigate you through. See if that
Right.
one will let you. It also have a bird connection that looks like Thoth from
Interesting.
Egypt.
Yeah, because I was looking into the Hermetica recently, and I had a question about that. Because I've been said in that there are like sometimes just one word can activate a person, and
That's
then
correct.
Thoth was talking about this one word as well, in the very nature of creation itself, that can bring calm to the chaos. That can infuse all of life with the very essence of source itself, just by saying this one word. Is that the same word that would activate me like anyone else?
Well, for you, it'll be a combination of words. They might not give you the full word because it's not time for it yet. But yeah, you can get different. You can search for it. Yes, you can find words out that you feel like are activating you.
So it isn't some alien language that's not even pronounceable with a throat.
No, it could be human.
Okay.
It's all no, all these words that can make all these changes they're all human words.
It makes sense, since the God in those legends that Thoth was talking about, God created man in divine source image. So it should be catered towards man to be able to
Correct.
access that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always going to be alien knowledge language, but it's just the human language. They're just not going to tell you what words they are for obvious reasons.
Right,
But you
right.
can, when your own activations, you can get pretty close to what you need to find.
That's cool. Yeah, because I'm just trying to connect those dots with these ancient texts and what's relative to me. So, and I was feeling parallels with that. So,
Yes, Egyptian. Yeah,
right.
so Akashic, Egyptian, Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your knowledge is hidden for obvious reasons, not just for yourself, but for the Earth. The Earth isn't ready, but it doesn't mean you still can't find out about yourself, though.
Yeah, I feel like I can maturely, accept that information without, making a mess here, going crazy.
Well, I see part of it though about Genghis Khan.
Right.
I figure you're here to help that timeline be created.
It's kind of like putting it into the medieval era, just wiping all that land out for the Renaissance.
Yeah, it's like think about like in the ancient times preparing that timeline. hundreds, thousands of years before that even occurred.
Yeah, it just seemed like petty, competitive, feudal rivalry between kingdoms that had no claim over it and were treating each other like crap. So. All right. One other image that was mentioned of the Akashic connection was me as a giant Elohim. Can you help me connect those dots as to the nature of the Elohim's relationship with the Akashic records and what it has to do with me?
Oh, it's one of your original appearances as a giant Elohim energy, as an angelic energy. You did appear here as a god. You weren't trying to be a god, but you've been depicted as a god here as Elohim, giving knowledge to a race of people that are just very selfish. It feels like you got part of you. You just got annoyed by humans and their decisions, their poor decision making, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna appear on Earth. Screw it.
And that's Genghis Khan lifetime.
Well, no. Well, I feel like you appeared as Elohim energy
Okay.
in the skies, yeah. And like some of them were kind of freaked out. This is before, I would say, written language. Yeah, humans are always causing difficulties here. Tribal times.
Was this post the fall of Atlantis, or was that even before that?
I would say it was before that. Humans here are just always getting into something. No, it just got worse and worse. It's just the human nature here. It's some of it's Martian connections. It's some of it's reptilian. It's the human is just deactivated from the higher dimensions.
Yeah.
Not all humans, but quite a few of them are. It's just part of the nature of the earth.
One thing I'm trying to get to know the nature about, and this will be my last question, is and it's kind of I want some clarity on this with the humans that are kind of confused right now, as the gender movement that's going on in schools where children are being introduced to concepts that have them questioning their gender. Is this a genuine confusion caused by an incarnation manipulation where the sex on the person's soul contract is being changed? Or is this a case of predatory programming, meant to make children reject what they signed up for before coming?
Well, yeah, it's a combination of both.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it is the agenda of the school. So actually, literally of the school system, which is kind of messed up. It's to cause more confusion here.
Right.
So people are getting smarter with the conspiracies. Like they're seeing the truth of the government. Obviously, they don't have all of the truth, but they're getting more wary of it. So okay, so we'll go after their gender now. And so I mean that wasn't really that's kind of just found itself there. But a lot of people are becoming more gender fluid, and that's natural. It's just others are coming in to manipulate it. And those that choose to go through it, yeah, they're it's just another test. Some are they chose they knew what they were going to get. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, because it's making self-acceptance even harder. People have to learn how to, accept themselves and love themselves unconditionally, and they got all this programming, pulling them away from, what they're here to do. And I understand the test, but what I don't understand is how the soul contract is getting manipulated. How are they changing the gender on these people and flipping them around?
Well, they're of course they're going after the children where they're not ready for any of that. Cause more chaos in the future. But it is basically the earth is going to a higher frequency. And so it's just being manipulated, but it's happening actually naturally. Where souls are questioning their gender and everything, but just the government, it's literally a government agency that is weaponizing it.
Right.
Instead of just letting it happen. So instead, it's like propaganda in schools, which it shouldn't be. Where some kids are going to just gradually go through it, which is normal. But instead, now they're putting on all the kids, feel like they all should go through it, which is not right.
Yeah, and they're just making everything more complicated instead of finding solutions. That's just that one criticism about human nature. I don't know if we're going to get past that, but it's not fashionable or virtuous to be complicated. At some point you got to figure out some of your problems. So, all right, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Blessings.
Hello. Like I was just receiving for some reason about that if you could confuse a child about something as basic and core and clear to them that, oh, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, which should be, then it's
Mhm.
such a, like you said with the school, it's such a, like, how will they know later anything of what is true and not true? Like discernment is really, so it makes sense, the confusion. So it brings
Mhm.
about chaos, because if I can't even know if I'm a boy or a girl, then what can I trust, you know? So I feel like that's part of the
Well, there are
impact of
ways of
that.
knowing. It's just even if the truth is right in front of them, obviously they don't have to fully accept it, but that's part of their. Those are going through it. Have been going through it already, like before they ever get incarnated. So it's just
Yeah,
a challenge they need to go through.
yeah, there's like, it's layered. There's the natural version of that. If they just left it alone, then it would, like, the same as in the upper realms, it just, the masculine, feminine, all that emerges together. But just that part, how, why would it be with the school and the government? I feel like they're really inserting that, like, now where we have disability to trust our own, opinions and perceptions and discernments, if it's already being inserted into them at such a young age, that, oh, am I a girl, am I a boy, am I a girl, or, so yeah. So I guess comment on that. Okay, I think I'll just, if you have any messages for me, maybe about any shadows that might be coming up, or any healing or traumas, and some advice.
It's just I feel like you've had, let's see, lifetimes then as like a trapeze artist, like in the circus or something like that. I just see you up in the air,
It's funny.
like other versions of you. So yeah, like circus. I don't know if you're big on the circus now, but I feel like you have realities of you that is involved with the circus. Like I say, doing acrobatic type of things.
Hmm.
So in
Yeah,
this
I was really
incarnation,
good at that as a child.
yeah,
Yeah,
no
monkey
wonder, right?
bars.
You're
Yeah.
surprised, right?
Mm.
So you're bringing that energy here to heal others.
Mm.
So your direction, just go. Yeah, you're healing a lot of heavy frequencies. Some of it seems like it comes from the Middle Ages. Somewhere in the Middle Ages, like kind of like the Knights at Round Table. It seems like you knew Henry VIII. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't know much about it. For some
I
reason,
feel,
I didn't connect really to that so much.
I feel like you knew him,
Hmm.
and I don't think it went too well either.
Did
I,
anything go well on Earth?
I think it. Yeah, I think you knew him before he became king.
Hmm.
It's just the energy I'm picking up on him.
I'll study up on that. All right, so when I'm connecting and kind of clearing, healing that, is this more like existing through, how some things like we've experienced physically, and some things we're clearing out of the family lineage or DNA memory, all that kind of thing? Is it connected directly to like physical incarnations and things that I've
Yes.
experienced?
Yeah, I feel like you. I believe he was doing hangings. If I connect to it right, I believe
Hmm.
you're one of them. From what I'm gathering,
That
from
I was
where,
hung.
yeah.
Okay, well, I rather that than me doing hangings.
So no, yeah, you're hung. You weren't
Yeah.
doing hangings, no. Well, you
Hmm.
rejected some of his influence. You rejected him, it seems. So
Yeah, I feel like one of the main things that I'm healing is in this life too is a lot of throat traumas and
yes.
the head. And I was actually Andrew Bartz, as he was saying to one woman that she also got guillotined. That came through earlier today to somebody too.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I've had my head chopped off a million times, hung, all that kind of thing. And he was saying to her that the only way to really heal the throat chakra and those types of throat injuries is to literally talk your head off in this life. And I think I'm kind of doing that. So, rapping and all the different,
Yeah,
like my
yeah.
voice being silenced so many lives.
Well, yeah, you're killed for no reason.
Hmm.
You had a couple lifetimes where you just bad circumstances. So yeah, sometimes it's better off you just get killed too. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
it's like instead of just enduring a lot of pain, it's better just to take the exit.
Maybe I'll actually ask, because that was one thing that I did want to ask. I've been having some weird alignment with my neck and with my, like, the positioning of my head and my neck. It's like almost like as if I was pulling my head back. Like my mom keeps saying, "Why do you keep doing that? You're making like 4 double, triple chins." And I don't need to, because I don't have that. But it's almost like my head is inverting into this weird position. Are you able to see at all, like, how I could realign that or bring that into, is that a trauma or
Yeah, it's
memory, or?
trauma. So that seems like you have to look at the history of the axe, because I feel like you and the axe was before the guillotine, of course. But yeah, it's like your head was axed off a couple of times. You feel like you had to move your head to a certain level so you can head to be chopped off, successfully.
Yeah, I can't even like imagine that
you,
shit.
you don't think like don't. But yeah, this seems like what's happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's funny too, because imagine this. I know my mom's gone through this too. 2 of us in Poland, she decided to go into a torture museum when I was a teenager.
That's not
And
good.
for some reason, yeah, I did a whole ceremony around clearing that, because years later, like last year or the year before, I realized, I'm like, damn, that was really stupid. And I went and put my head into the guillotine thing they had there. And my mom, I don't know if she took a picture or not. I don't, but just to like be silly, I was a teenager. I was like 16 years old. Oh, I put my head in the guillotine. But then years later, I realized, like, wow. So I did actually a ceremony back in time to put, I cleared that. But it's funny how things in this life pop up like that.
Well, one of the reasons for that to happen is just to heal. It is healing it though. It's joking
Yeah,
about it.
I see that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I think your
Taking the
mom
power
was.
out.
Yeah, your mom was like, "Hey, look, you can't be afraid of it anymore. Here it is." Which is kind of weird when you think about it, but yeah.
Do you see anything with this was the first time, so I was doing some energy work around myself. I just kind of do what comes through and things. And around my left elbow, it was the first time, because usually I sense vibrations and things through my hands, mostly like magnetic kind of things. But this time I was doing it around my left elbow, and I don't have any issues in the physical here that I know with my left elbow. But the heat, it was literally like the air got hot around it. And I know something, and then I realized that I also have this big birthmark that I've had in that area since I was born, I believe. And do you see anything? Was that some bleed over of another life, or do you see anything my left arm, like around my elbow?
Yeah, it feels like an arrow went through your arm. Yeah, you've known someone in your past that's similar to Robin Hood. So you were part of the merry men. Let's put it that way. You were part of a group that was like that. That was very similar to that. So
Cool. I wrote that down. I'm gonna do some research into
Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. Yeah, and yeah, I feel like you just got attacked, but I feel like a bow and arrow. Gotcha. You can clear that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Just my last one. Is there anybody else that, like, how you can tell people sometimes they have exactly connections to Henry VIII, or anybody in this, famous people, any people that I might know that I have like a stronger type of connection to?
Well, astrally, I see maybe you knew him physically, Liberace. I don't know how you are with Liberace, but yeah, I don't know. Not everybody's big on Liberace, but I see his energy around. He's a musician. It's probably like that'd be somebody you would hang out with, or your bell bottoms, or something like that. Another version of you. I definitely see you in the 70s, around the music age there. Very hippie. Even the 60s, but definitely the 70s. 60s, yes. 70s, definitely.
Yeah, I love like Jim Morrison and all that kind of
Yeah,
music. All the
yeah,
70s stuff. I love it.
yeah. I would say you're like a flower girl, flower power, and I don't think you lived that long though. During that time, yeah.
All right, awesome.
The Volkswagen Beetle I see a white one that has like flowers and stuff on it, stuff like that.
Yeah, I see those beetles a lot in my dreams, and my parents had one in this lifetime, a red one with a white roof. And so yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Well, yeah, I see.
Volkswagen.
I don't have the time. Martin Luther King. Apparently, you're around that time period. Around, yeah, I see you around him.
A lot of men energies, huh?
Yeah.
Are there any females?
Well, you were a female.
No, I know that but
that's
like
helpful.
any female female people.
No, I think you're kind of like the star female. All of this is like you're the star. No, they're not showing.
It's interesting because I have a thing with generally with trusting female. Like I've always wanted to have a good girlfriend. I've always wanted to have like a best girlfriend, and I feel like all my girlfriends disappointed me in this light, or like betrayals and things, and it's hard for me to trust female energies. I know I'm kind of healing that with my mother and I's relationship, but yeah, I feel a little bit more like, I don't know, safer around male energies. Like they're not as manipulative, I guess. Or
yeah, you're just very independent. But yeah, you've had some female interactions that were not great. That goes back to ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had some girlfriends back then. It's like, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're Julius Caesar being stabbed by everybody that's your friend.
Yeah, I always get that image of Cinderella where they come and they tear her dress off and everything.
Yep.
And I feel that way almost like on the soul, like whether it was my DNA being, used and taken, or and Cinderella was exactly, she was trying to like, share and do these things, and then
Yeah, but it's true. Yeah, you've had a lot of female friends in your early incarnations, and you're just like, it's almost like never again. It's like you try, but you're very careful about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because I'm like almost always open, I keep the door open, but I feel like it keeps so it's almost like I don't really connect. I don't want to be human. I want to go to that place where we can actually have lasting relationships. I'm tired of relationships that don't last.
Well, I do see a female time, Joan of Arc. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like I can see you as a warrior during that time.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
A female warrior. Yeah. I feel like that's your last of your female bonding.
Yeah, and she was already kind of mixed with the masculine, obviously energy, so it's interesting.
Yeah, you're definitely part of that group in some form or another. They're not really saying how deep, but I believe you were in one of her army, some form of her army. A version of it.
Could barely roll out of bed nowadays, so it's impressive that I could think of myself in a pool.
You're doing a lot of this is the healing life, as you've heard. Others are going through it too, so
yeah. We're all fatigued. All right, well, thank you very, very much.
All right.
Blessings, and thank you for coming through.
Of course. I have time for short questions. Running out of time. I thought
I got one more.
Sure.
Lately, the term custodian of the planet has been sitting in my head since I heard it. Previous guest on Ivan's channel, Neutron, I believe, randomly told me that I was on one of the ships that worked on creating this world, but my role was more behind the scenes. Can you share more of what my role was at that time and why hearing the term custodian of the planet makes me think of its founding?
That comes back to like an Andromedan lifetime. Well, you had connections to Andromeda of making sure this world's done right, like put together correctly.
Very cool.
But you can say that's like 1,000,000 years ago, or maybe longer than that.
Well, that's cool to get that Andromedan connection. I never knew that before.
Yeah, I feel Andromeda
Did know that, I just forgot.
Well, yeah, you've been through all sorts of other things since then. So it's like it's hard to connect to Andromedan side. It's like, but there's other worlds you're involved with too. It's not just this one. You got connections to Mars also.
Yeah.
But at least Mars is more open to the corruption. You knew the corrupt's very clear. You can walk up to the corruption, and here they're all security. But in Mars, you can go up to them and just tell them off and all. You can do that here, but it's still different.
Yeah, they're not trying to hide, in Mars.
Yeah, Mars is
the game
all.
now where they stay in the
Yep.
shadows.
It's like on a pirate planet. Like
Right.
the pirates or pirate island. It's kind of like that. That was Mars. So they just owned who they were. And here is all this deception. That's what makes things so difficult here. I mean, it's obvious, but it's still people are, you see corruption, but they're still seen as a good, you know how it goes here.
Yeah, a backwards planet.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's it for me. Well, thank you very much.
Right.
Much love, Ashtar.
Yes, blessings to you all. Yes, glad to make this connection.
Can I ask a short question?
Oh, yes, I'm about to go. But yes, very quick.
Okay, I was just wondering if I have fractals of anyone injured or something.
A fractal of who or where or?
Yeah, of who or anyone from, in spirit or.
Well, you have fractals of the Palladians right now. You work with them a lot.
Mm.
I just see most of them. Yeah, some serum, but I feel like you're bringing a lot from the Palladians right currently.
Do I have any fractals of Archangel Gabriel?
A little bit, yes. Some.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I see Raphael's energy there actually.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you
all right.
for coming in.
All right.
Okay,
Blessings.
blessings.
Blessings to you all.
Bye.
Blessings.